The first step we did was to release a private beta for Hadoop on Azure first. That was a very important step because we gave everyone in the community the opportunity to really take Hadoop for a spin and see how our Hadoop services on Azure really work. Within the cloud, we usually release, or we have release cycles of 3 to 6 months. And you can basically expect something new on Hadoop on Azure every 3 to 6 months, and you can see all the improvements coming. Hadoop on Azure is brought as software as a service. That is the first step, making it really easy for developers, IT professionals, and end users to really spin up a Hadoop cluster and just go take it for a drive. Of course, as a second motion, we will bring Hadoop also on Windows Server to make sure that you have a good choice of running it in the cloud, on-premise, or doing a hybrid version. So what we did is we partnered with our partner Horton to ensure that we can bring all the new benefits that we want to bring to Hadoop and to the community, that we enable these features, give broad access for a lot of developers, ensure that Hadoop is enterprise ready, that it connects with SQL Server, that we have monitoring, and that we have configuration enabled, and also to ensure that you can use it with familiar tools like Excel or SQL Server. So what we did is we took our partner Hortonworks, we work on the Hadoop platform, and we all give it back to the community. So it will all stay open source, and it will all be given back to the community. Of course, yeah. We want to make sure that Hadoop is fully integrated and compatible with our System Center suite, that we can use System Center 2012 to monitor it, to run configuration on it.
So I think all of it we can use later on, right? That's the great thing about open source is as everybody contributes, everyone benefits and grows from it. So we're very excited actually to see companies like Microsoft contribute their knowledge. They have years and years of knowledge of working in the enterprise world. They can bring all that to projects like ours and really help them grow.
I think basically we're addressing a lot of customers with that that are addressing all the topics of search, scale, and that have high requirements for high performance computing in the end. So it's a wide range. It's not industry specific. It's not specific to a certain type, either developers or IT pros. I think it's a wide range of enterprises and customers we're addressing with this.
So I actually think all those projects are part of the strength of Hadoop. Instead of having one way to do things, there's lots of different tools depending on what your need is. So Hadoop itself presents a distributed file system, and MapReduce a fairly simple paradigm for doing processing on top of that distributed file system. Then the projects around that, like HBase, provide an easy update key value store. Pig provides a nice data flow language for processing all that data you have stored in HDFS. Hive presents a SQL layer for that when you want to do analysis. HCatalog presents a metadata layer so that you can know what's in there. All those projects together give you different things, different ways to use the system depending on what your use case is. So I would say what makes Hadoop unique is it really is focused around the processing of the big data in a batch way, right? A lot of the other kind of NoSQL stores we see coming up right now are very focused on serving data, which is a very real need and a good thing. Hadoop is more back office, right? It's more focused on processing that data that you've collected from your serving systems, learning more from that, and then using that to serve better in the future. Yeah, I think the big thing to see is that Hadoop is complementary to those things. It isn't really choose one or the other. You're choosing a whole collection of tools. I think that's a big difference between the new world of open source software and kind of the older world where you bought one vertical stack of software and it tried to solve all your problems. This is much more of a mix and match world where you pick pieces to solve individual problems and then you make them work together. The really important part of Hadoop 2.0 is it breaks the tight bond between MapReduce as the only data processing algorithm and Hadoop, right? So now Hadoop has always given you a nice parallelism, nice or high availability and all those kinds of things, but it's been very bound to MapReduce as its data processing algorithm. With 2.0, MapReduce becomes just one of the data processing algorithms that you can build on Hadoop, and it becomes very easy to build other types of things. There are whole types of applications that work better not in a MapReduce format. For example, graph processing, where you want to do message passing between your workers as they're doing the work. That works much better outside of a MapReduce context, right? So those kinds of things are enabled by Hadoop 2.0. So the important plans for the future is, as you said, 2.0 has been released in an alpha form, but all the projects on top, even though most of them have now been adapted to work on 2.0, they haven't really moved to take advantage of it yet. Right? Take Pig and Hive, for example, that do a lot of data processing. There's moving away from a strict MapReduce algorithm has a lot of opportunities for them to optimize. And right now, both those projects it's too soon in the cycle. They haven't had a chance to adapt and really make use of that. And I see that as the next big leap for the 2.0 stuff.
The normal route in replaying the data would have taken us weeks. And
there was certainly work to do, but it is all Java based, so it's not as bad as you might initially think. There are places where especially core Hadoop does interact directly with the operating system, and of course that has to be adapted. But for example, in the projects I work on, Pig and Hive, it was very limited. It really ported over fairly nicely.